Welcome back to Your Average Witch, where every other Tuesday we talk about witch life, witch stories, and sometimes a little witchcraft. This is going to be a different episode. Again, I am actually in my hammock out on my patio that I built. There are bats emptying the hummingbird feeder as I speak. There's a spadefoot toad yelling out in the yard, and I just saw a shooting star. It's a lovely night, and I hope you are having a lovely time wherever you are. I am going to be changing the format of the podcast, I think. I don't know how it's going to change yet, but I just feel like it's going to change. And I don't have a script right now, so this is just coming out of my brain straight to my mouth, and you're just getting it. There also may not be episodes in October or November. The world is different right now, and I need a mental health break. I will try to have some content for you. I will try to have something, but I may not. That's just a warning for you. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like I'm on a roller coaster and we're at the top of the big hill, except I'm blindfolded. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. But anyway, on to this episode. This episode is two people who I wanted you to hear from about Anahata's purpose and how it affected them. And we weren't able to get together to have them in the last episode, so they're in this episode. And that is Charlye Michelle from the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour. Charlye, I love you! And Kacie from Kacie's Corner. Kacie, I love you too! And they will tell us how Anahata's affected their lives and their practices. And then we will end with Rachel, the founder and creator of Anahata's Purpose. She heard and listened to the last episode. She listened to how her baby has changed our lives, and she wanted to respond. So that's what this is. And thank all three of you for sharing your hearts with us. And I want to thank all the listeners for listening and for being so supportive. I appreciate you all so much. I keep thinking, I'm in a really terrible mental place right now. And I keep thinking maybe I don't want to do this podcast anymore, but I do. I really do. Because I appreciate all of you and you're important to me. And I feel like I do have something to offer to the world of witches. So I'm going to keep going. And hopefully you'll keep listening, even if it changes. Anyway, now let's get to the stories.
Okay, Kim, when did you first attend Anahata's Purpose? So, Macy and I first went in 2021. And it's funny because we had fully intended and were ready to go to the 2020 Anahata's Purpose, but had to kind of pull out of that because, 2020. And we did a virtual sort of call-in type thing. But I remember really, really debating with her, like, I think this whole 2020 thing is looking pretty bad. Maybe we should think about this. How many times have you been since then? I believe that we have been 3 times total. Is that right? Yeah, we went to 2021, 22, and 24. How has your practice changed since attending Anahata's Purpose? I've been much, much, much more connected with the community. And at first it seems just like, oh, I'm being more sociable with the community. And it doesn't really affect my practice, but it really does. In everyday kind of ways, I find myself participating in Oh, I don't know. More community, more group-based spell work. I find myself included in that group-based spell work, and I feel the effects of that. And, I just feel, I think, a lot more connection to the things that work for me. And seeing everybody with such a wide variety of the way that they practice is made me feel very confident in the whole, like, we can all practice in a different way. And also being exposed to different things and being like, that makes sense. Show me how to do that. Would you say that Anahata's purpose changed your life at all? If so, how? So I said absolutely to this one, and it kind of piggybacks off the last one, but it brought the witch community, pagan community, spiritual community, whatever, from this sort of intangible idea of a thing, or and not that you can't interact in a online only space, but it did sort of take it from this abstract, oh, these are people that I talk to online, into reality, I guess, or physicality, I guess. And it bolstered also as well, sort of my passion for small business, getting to meet everybody and, seeing what they do and what they create and seeing how important it is to, support small businesses. So it has changed my life in a lot of ways. Why do you go back? Honestly, for the people and for a almost entire week of not having to worry about being judged. Like, you can get as weird with your craft and do things with your friends or in front of people that you never thought you would, or you thought, oh, is this too weird? But it's just like, everyone's like, oh yeah. So that's how I remember when we were there once doing some ancestor work, and I kind of close my eyes and almost rock back and forth. It just seems to happen. And I had never done that in front of anyone. And when I did, I felt completely comfortable. And thinking about that now, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, but for that lack of judgment and honestly, the vibes, and not to mention, of course, obviously the cool classes and all the learning that you can do and experiencing new things, learning new things, but also taking classes where you scream into the void, and there's a good healthy balance of sort of that practical side of things. And then you can also take classes that are completely, metaphysical in nature. Why should others come to Anahata's purpose? I think that you should come to Anahata's purpose to step out of your comfort zone, into a safe space. Because a lot of the times we're freaked out to step out of that comfort zone. And we don't know what's going to happen or who it's going to be with, but this is a way to kind of be in a controlled environment to do these things. And even if just showing up, sometimes people come by themselves and they find the group of other people that came by themselves and end up making some lifelong friends. I've made lifelong friends, and, that even if it's just that, if it's like, hey, I would like to meet some fellow-minded people, yeah, there's lots of reasons to go to Anahata's purpose. I highly, highly suggest it.
Hey y'all, I'm Kacie, your friendly neighborhood hedge witch. I'm one of the group mods and host of the monthly group spells for the Witch Amateur Hours Facebook coven. I'm also the community coordinator for the DFW Pagan Unity Fest, held each year first weekend of November. Keep an eye out for us this year, November 8th. And I'm also host of Kacie's Corner, where you can find my monthly unboxing of Kim's Crepuscular Conjuration spell kits. Go check those out. So my first Anahata's purpose was in 2022. I prepped for a whole year for that. I have since gone back 2 more times in 23 and 2024. I would have to say I've become more secure in my practice because I've learned how to trust myself more. Um, the classes that I went to Anahata's to take definitely helped me learn how to tell the difference between my anxiety and my intuition. And for a long time, I really struggled with, you know, telling those two apart, understanding which was which in order to trust myself. And at that time, I was being called into these leadership positions. I was hosting these monthly group spells. I was being asked to join the coordinating committee for the Pagan Unity Fest. And I really didn't know how to do these roles. I didn't understand why people were asking me to do these things or trusting me to do these things because I didn't even trust myself. Going to Anahata's has really helped me understand what other people were already seeing in me at that point, that I had a really that my practice, that a lot of the work I had been doing up to that point was real. It did exist. I did exist. What? It's because of all that I would definitely say that Anahata's has changed my life. Like attending this event and doing all of the work associated with that has definitely changed my life. First of all, I went into this with a goal, knowing that there was something that I needed from this, that I knew that I'd hit a wall with my own practice, with my, with my community work, and just in general being able to break through and step into these roles I was being asked to step into, that I was being called to, really. I knew there was something more, some sort of purpose. I knew there was this spark of community service, of community focus, of leadership, of just talking to people that I knew I could do way back before life wouldn't happen to me. That I knew when I was way back in high school, organizing for student council and organizing citywide community service events and winning statewide awards for our community service, and for the programs that I helped institute. Like, I knew I could do it. There was something in me that loved this work, but life had given, had just, I had put up so many blocks to protect myself that I wasn't able, I felt, my throat chakra, literally, it had a block. Like I had the aura photos I took that year definitely reflected that and really helped me put into focus, that was definitely something I was working on, and something that, was real, that I it was this like secret in the back of my head, or something that in the back of my heart, really. And, going to Anahata's and facing some of those challenges that I knew I had, definitely, I was definitely called to do the shadow work, mine was Embrace Your Shadow class, because I knew I had some wounds, especially from my childhood, that was blocking me and that I needed to deal with. And from everything I'd heard about this event and the community around it, I felt like this was something that would definitely, there was an opportunity that when it was presented to me that I couldn't pass up. That was, and because I took that and I did that work, and I saw that, okay, yes, this is definitely something I'm feeling called to do and I want to do. The following year, when I did my next aura reading, I could definitely see the change, because not only did I go back another year, because I did still feel like I had some work to do. Some of that work was to teach. I felt like I had something to contribute to this event, and applied and got accepted, and figured out my class and got accepted and went back to teach. And my aura reading that year, I kid you not, the whole thing had like, not only was the little cloud covering my throat chakra gone, my whole dang aura had changed to be really very much throat chakra oriented. It was blue. It was like, girl, you are talking, you are using your voice, you're finding your voice, and you are doing the damn thing. And that just, wow, it really blew my mind open. So that encouraged me to change my life even more and take even another step. And I started, I not only applied to teach at Anahata's for another year and go back for a third year, I invited my husband to come along with me because because it was changing my life, it was definitely changing his life, my family's life. Because these people, so much of the community had become, my so much of my chosen family and stuff. It was really important for me to bring him and for him to see what this was for me. But also I applied to start teaching at other like events, and I began networking more and really helping, using my skills to help my event grow and help me finally apply everything that I was learning to the community here locally that I had, was originally being asked to serve and had to travel all the way across the country to learn how to best serve them, because I could not, and I knew I could do this better. I think others should come to Anahata's Purpose if they're feeling like if they're feeling called to it, if they're feeling like they're at some sort of crossroads in their life and they're wanting to make a step to do some sort of action towards that next step, towards choosing that path. Where are you going to go in that crossroads? Or if you're at a part where you're pretty sure you're ready for that next step, but you're not sure, you're feeling blocked, you're not sure how to get past that, and you're ready to do that work. Anahata's is definitely a place for you. It's if you're especially if you're looking to heal some sort of community wound. Okay, maybe this is just why I went to Anahata's, but I definitely feel like this community and the space that Rachel organizes here is definitely, she keeps in mind the outsiders, the people who don't necessarily find this type of space or feel welcomed or find what they're needing in the typical, quote unquote wellness community spaces. I have interacted with a lot of them over the past few years and have seen some of the more unpleasant, what a lot of people call the toxic side of the wellness community. And I definitely feel like what Rachel is mindfully creating with Anahata's Purpose is the antidote to that. It is the, it is the heart. It is touche. That's why it's called Anahata's. But it's definitely, she builds, that focus on the heart and healing the heart and growing from the heart and loving from the heart and building community from the heart is it's not a bad base to start from. And if you're feeling like that's, where your next steps are going to take you, if you're ready for that heart healing, if you're ready to grow from the heart, if you're ready to move and be led from the heart, Anahata's, go check it out. Anahata's Purpose is the place for you. It will rip you apart. Be ready for that. And if you let it, it will change. It'll change your life. You can change your life if you let it. If you do the work, and if you take that first step on that journey, and and you just got to hand out his purpose. All right. Thank you so much, Kim, for having me come visit you in your little corner of the world, and y'all go stop by my little corner of the world. Thanks. Bye.
I first want to let you all know that I am currently at work, which means there's a really, really high chance that the phone is going to ring and I'm going to have to pause and then I'm going to forget what I was talking about. That's very possible. That could all very much happen. Hello, hi, I'm Rachel. I've been coordinating, curating Anahata's Purpose since 2018. So I guess that answers the how long have I been coming? Since the beginning. I listened to Kim's episode. I love that she does them like a month or two before the event each year, because I feel like it really helps me refocus and light a fire under my ass. And I normally cry while listening to it, and it reminds me why I do this crazy thing that is event planning at this scale with this level of emotion and vulnerability. This year's episode was fantastic. And this year has been really, 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 really difficult for me. So much so that I was actually debating on if it was the last one, but then I listened to Janie's interview and she was like, I can't come this year because her sister is rudely having her wedding on the same weekend. And I was like, all right, well, I can't make this the last one if Janie's not going to make it. So Janie, next year is for you. It's been such a difficult event year. And for those of you who don't know me, this is the only event that I do solely, that I lead, but it is not the only event that I do. I work on some other ones and I have a full-time job and all the things. I don't want to go through the history and previous years and the build-up, because those stories are kind of out there already. If you really want to hear them, you can find them on this podcast, on Waba, on Mystical Misfits. You can, that story's all out there. This year has been really, really, really hard. Moving locations, which is fun and great and exciting, but it comes with so many different things and is stressful just in general. Where is this going to go? What's that going to go? What is this space going to feel like? What workshop should I put here? Can I turn this into a workshop space? There's all of those ins and outs, and imagining the entire space, imagining what it's going to feel like, and getting from one place to another. And then on top of it, I knew that the person who helped me with this the most wasn't going to be able to help anymore. And, they live in Hawaii, so it's fair. And it's too much. And they also run another event that I help them with. And there's other things that they're doing. And so we knew over a year ago that last year was going to be the last year that they were going to be able to help me. Probably a lot of people here listening, or at least have seen him or met him. His name's Jeremy. He's fantastic. One of my besties. And it's just been extremely trying. There's a lot of people that are really fantastic that are still helping with Anahatas, but it's very difficult to
move locations, lose the main form of support that has been, who I've let in, right? I've entrusted him with my brain baby, who's seen my creative process and understands events and all of that. And then also doing like onboarding, and then just the overall state of the world. And I know things could be worse and blah, 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 all that shit. And then I listen to the podcast and I get reminded of why I do this fucking crazy thing. And I know you, if you've been listening and if you've listened to the other podcasts, you'll hear some of the same voices in that year over year, and you'll hear some new ones too. And I'll always talk about how what amazes me and inspires me the most is the amount of people that come by themselves. And I was listening to the podcast and I'm like, people coming, this is their X year, and they talk about the first time that they come. And then I'm like, is that still happening? And then I get an email from somebody who it's their first year and they're coming by themselves and they're traveling from far away. And I just keep being like, holy shit, like that's still think people are still showing up. New attendees and the veterans still showing up. And there's now been, years of relationship building. And it's been beautiful. It's been fantastic. I just want to echo, what other people have said is that the people that I've met, I wouldn't give them up for anything. It's hard being vulnerable. It's hard being vulnerable every day. And it's hard to feel like you can be accepted in places. And I feel like we've done a really good job collectively showing up and leading by example on how to be vulnerable and on how to show other people that it's okay to do the same. I believe I was talking about vulnerability and how good we do at leading by example and how great it is for our minds and our nervous systems to realize that, if we say something dumb, if we do something dumb, if we say that we don't know something, that we're physically safe and it's okay. And our brain sometimes is really big and mean. One of the things I wrote down, it's the only thing I wrote down actually, totally freeballing this, guys, is what you get out of AP depends on how much you were able to release your concept of control. Or I guess it could be the illusion of control. And I mean, no one's going to ever be able to fully release our illusions of control. It's part of our human experience and the ego to keep us safe. I guess that's kind of something I'm trying to do now, is just release the control of it seeming like it's rainbows and sunshine setting this event up, being a part of a community and doing all this. Sometimes it's still fucking hard. I feel like it's better with the people that I've come to know and love at AP, but that's definitely something that I plan on meditating on more, is how much is my brain trying to control something that really is not in my hands, and how much am I trying to make something so perfect or make sure that everything flows seamlessly, and that is just an absolute illusion. just gotta try our best at doing the thing and making the thing into what it is that we're visualizing, and then literally allow people to judge it. I'm pretty sure AP's got a pretty good track record, you know. We got our year over years. We've got people that come from literally every state and Canada. I know for me, that has been the hardest thing for this year, is trying to have a plan for all the things that are falling apart. And really, the best thing to do is release that, trust that I'll know what to do in the moment, and allow it to be something vulnerable and at the least something transformative and powerful for myself. I told Kim that I wanted this to be titled something along the lines of a love note to the attendees of AP or something like that. And I asked her if I could record something. And she was excited and like, hell yeah. And then I didn't do it till right now. And she's messaged me, did you record yet? Did you record that thing yet? And I think it was hard because I wanted to obviously record something where I spoke to everything that everyone has said, because it is always really helpful to listen to this annual podcast that Kim does leading up to the event. And then I decided that I didn't want to do more of the same. And I didn't know what I wanted that to look like or sound like. And so sorry, Kim. Sorry this is taking a while. I'm sorry if this isn't what you want or what you were visioning for me to record for you. It's wild how we can have so much motivation to do one thing in a moment, and then after, like, I did honestly want to do that. And then I don't know what happened. I guess the realization of what it is sunk in a little bit. I didn't know what to say. So it's been hard. And I am genuinely excited for all the things, but I'm scared about this year. And not in a safety way for anybody or anything. I'm just scared that it won't be what I have imagined. And thanks for going through this therapy session that I'm having with myself right now. Because I say that, and then when I think about every year before, I always feel the same way. And I get scared that, I have this picture or this timeline in my mind of how things will go. And wanting to make sure that everyone experiences that timeline within their own parameters of reality and what they want to do in their life experience. And I guess it's just with the other things changing that it just feels heavier. It feels heavier. But I do know it's going to be just as fucking great as it always is. And I think it's really fucking needed right now. I feel like I say that every year too. But it's true. I don't know. I guess I'm really not allowed to stop doing Anahatas until it's not needed anymore. I guess it's still needed. And I guess I am super proud of its evolution. I told you I wasn't going to go through the history of it, but as I sit here and reflect on it, and the evolution has been beautiful. The evolution of the people who show up has been beautiful. Kim used to never cry. Ever. And now there's actually nothing that I love more than making Kim cry. Sorry, not sorry. I think about, I hope this is okay. I guess I'll have to message all of you guys that I'm about to talk about. before Kim posts this, but I think about Sarah, who y'all have heard on this podcast multiple times, but I remember when, I don't know if it was her first year or her second year or somewhere in between. I think it was somewhere in between, where she was in a space working that was just not conducive to her capabilities and her capacity of growth. And at the same time, kind of getting gaslit by some assholes make her feel that way. And then watching her kind of step into her own thing and then it be successful like that. That is a parallel evolution, right? That's how I think of it. It is her evolution that a lot of us have been able to have had the privilege to witness. You know. And I think about Kacie, which the transformation that Kacie has made. Kacie's Corner, especially from being an attendee to being a facilitator. And I mean, it's hard because I could literally go list off a whole gaggle of people. I guess we gotta just keep transforming up and just allow it to happen and not feel like we have to have so much control. And I guess, the whole be afraid and do it anyway. God, am I so excited to hug Deb. Sorry if this little section sounds weird. I had to pause to go receive a FedEx delivery. But I'm excited to see Deb. I remember the first time Deb came and was just like glowing. And I remember her being like, I came from Alaska. And I was like, what the hell? How the fuck? And just glowing. And then to learn all the things that she had been going through. And if you want to talk about transformation, we'd be here all day talking about the power of the Deb, which also my favorite thing ever. And Deb, I don't know if you better still do this, but because I didn't hear you say this on your part with Kim, but my favorite things ever is I don't know if you do this anymore, but right before Deb is about to get emotional, she'll just go, oh no. I just love that so much. This is just, I don't know, some random thing I feel like I guess I need to share. Oh no. And the eyes water up. Yeah, it's some beautiful fucking people. This year's been hard. And I just keep holding on to the fact that whether I'm ready or not, I'm going to get to see all of these beautiful people soon. God damn it. The phones, Tell me that ringtone. If that's your ringtone, if you listening at home, if that is your ringtone, change it. It's not an acceptable ringtone. It's not. It's not an acceptable ringtone for a cell phone. Do not have that one. I don't know what it's called. This isn't my cell phone. It's a work cell phone. And I'm going to change that ringtone right when I get done doing this. I have strong opinions on sounds. But I'm excited to see all the beautiful faces. I feel like maybe I just needed to get some of that vulnerability out. I feel better already. I should probably take this opportunity to answer some FAQs, though. Yeah, I should. Well, Well, no, actually I shouldn't. I'm going to take this as a moment to tell all y'all to go read some FAQs. I guess if you're still listening to this right now and you have never been to Anahata's, I'm not so much going to say like, this is your sign to show up or any of that. I just want to say that I think everyone could benefit from releasing some delusional control. And if you find yourself wanting to come, you don't have to control every aspect of it. And just know that somehow this event has attracted people that always really take care of each other. We always figure it out if somebody has something that they need, and that's also a level of vulnerability, and probably the biggest one upon first ever coming to anything like this is like, I send out a packing checklist. There's the schedule. There's all of these things, but you're still going to forget something or something's going to change. And when it does, are you surrounded by people that will help? And at Anahata's, you will be. We literally have had somebody come and from fly in, didn't realize that they had purchased a camping ticket instead of a cabin ticket. No tent, nothing. And we made it work. It was fine. Made it happen. We're not going to let anybody starve. Get your fucking meal tickets, though, guys. For real, for real. It's not going to be like last year or the year before. Get your meal tickets. They're at cost. There's no added charge to that. That is how much the grounds are charging for them. So they are at cost. But we figured it out. So, also, if you really, I don't want to put that out there. I do want y'all to get your meal tickets if you're getting a meal ticket. I was going to be like, it's okay if you don't, but also, no. That's one you don't want to forget. But we'll find an extra blanket, and we'll find another tent, or we'll find a way to make sure you're good. And that is really healing. And I hope if you come that you forget something. And I hope that it leads you to release the control of how others perceive you, and that you can allow yourself to be taken care of, and that you can learn to cry, or learn to stand up for yourself, or learn to avoid being gaslit, learn how to step in your power, go with the flow, all those things, all those good things. I don't know if I have anything else. I hope this still felt like a love letter. I do love everyone that shows up, because it kind of restores my faith in humanity a little bit. It's crazy how the mind can be so rude. I haven't even pressed stop recording, and my mind is already going, well, what if this is perceived wrong? Or what if somebody, listens to this and they're just like, oh, this one sounds like horrible. The person's grumpy. Or, what do you mean you're going to forget things? What are you talking about? It's wild. It's wild how our brains are so built to be almost like reactive and to create this sense of safety. It's fake. My mind going, well, you should just delete all of this and then re-record it, because somebody's going to get upset about something, and something's going to, someone's going to hear your words wrong, and like, the fuck, But it is, as I'm getting to the end of it now, even just saying that now, I'm just like, I got to scrap the whole thing. Now that I'm saying it in a microphone, that means I can't scrap the whole thing, because it feels like because I want to delete all of this. I guess, be afraid and do it anyway.
Thanks again to Charlye, Kacie, and Rachel for participating in this and giving me some of their thoughts. And thank you for listening to it. As a reminder, I probably won't have any episodes going out in October or November. I've been talking with the Hive, and we are probably going to be doing something, hopefully, that we are all very excited about it, and I hope it works out. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm talking about the way the podcast is going to change. If you want to attend Anahata's Purpose yourself, you can get tickets at anahataspurpose.com. There will be a link in show notes. And we'd love to see you. I'd love to meet you. Come meet us. Come hang out with us. It's going to be really fun. And that's it. I will see you next time. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Your Average Witch. You can find us all around the internet on Instagram at Your Average Witch Podcast, Facebook.com/groups/Hivehouse, at www.youraveragewitch.com, and at your favorite podcast service. If you'd like to recommend someone for the podcast, like to be on it yourself, or if you'd like to advertise on the podcast, send an email to youraveragewitchpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next Tuesday.